Hello YouTube subscribers, Jane Rodriguez, who is me. Welcome to another day, another opportunity to learn, and another opportunity to be alive and engage reality. And how could you engage reality without knowing what reality is, and to know as best you can with the senses that you have. It's important to be discerning and know what is true and what is a false reality. So God gave us senses to decode reality. Certainly David Icke, although he is not a Christian, he has taught me a lot about perception and how true reality, there's two versions. I began my journey of understanding certain things about the nature of reality when I did read a book like, Children of the Matrix. It's back there somewhere. But essentially, if you're watching this channel, you already know that there's establishment version of reality, and that goes for history and archaeology and science. And there's stuff that the establishment they have to agree with, and they have to lie about the artifacts or evidence and data that they collect that does not support the paradigm that they want the mankind to adopt. And that paradigm is a godless one where that evolution is what created the human species, when clearly just the way that everything about a human body speaks to a creator. It is, after all, DNA is a program, and you cannot run a program without a programmer. And the same goes for the universe. So that's just a stupid lie. And then, what else? Well, so they're going to lie about that because they don't want you to believe in God. And they don't want you to understand that God created you in His likeness. He made you to one day, you have to go through this physical reality. You have to go through death, you have to go through decay, but He promised in the Bible that you will one day judge the angels. He said, I made you a little bit lower than the angels right now in your physical body, but you one day will judge the angels. So therein lies the rub, and why the ones that fell, they hate us. And the whole name of the game is deception. And that's what they don't want you to know, is that you are made in the image of God, that you need Christ to be your mediator to get to the holy God, because you are a sinner. One sin is enough for you to be separated from God for all eternity, and all you need to do is repent, know that Christ is Lord and the only way to get to heaven, and you are given the keys to the kingdom, as it were. But if they can convince you of another whole other reality, and that part of the evolution, part of the godless reality model is that to explain supernatural phenomenon, they will say that aliens are the ones that seeded the human race, that they created us as a slave race, and that again is just another lie to get us separated from the fact that we are made in the image of God. So things like, Michael Cremo, if you Google him up, you will see that he had to give up a career, as he knew it, as an archaeologist and researcher and academic, and basically sacrifice all that to support and just publish the data that he found. Which points to the fact that evolution is just not true, because he collected enough data to support that. I mean, there's tons of data. There's no actual proof that the theory of evolution is real. So there's more. There's gobs of data that support the opposite, in fact. And as you go deeper and deeper into, Bigfoot and ghost hauntings and UFO abduction phenomena, you're going to hear things like soul resurrection or soul transfer technology and resurrection technology. But first, real quick, let me just show you all these articles. Shoot. The contrast is too high. These are articles from the New York Times, 1897, Wisconsin mound open, skeleton found of man over 9 feet high with enormous skull. Indian bones, New York Times, 1904. Red-haired giants, etc., etc. Okay, so we're over that argument. It's a fact. Giants existed. It's a fact. Okay, who were they? Well, it says in the book of Giants, in the book of Enoch, in the Old Testament, the reason why God flooded the planet is because they were looking on the fallen angels, were looking on the daughters of man, and found them to be beautiful. And they begat sons that proved to be unjust. And they were despisers of all that was good on account of the confidence that they had in their own strength. For the tradition is that these men did what resembles the acts of those whom the Grecians called giants. And this is if you want to know why there's a New World Order that engages in satanic pedophilia, you need to follow everything to its root. And the root is every ancient culture that had advanced technology and advanced government. The people who were the power players, the ones that were really under control, they were all preoccupied with satanic activity and occult activity. And they, not only were they preoccupied with it, but they made pacts with these entities to give them the technology. Look at the Aztecs. Look at the Babylonians. Look at Moloch. Moloch, the Yale boys at the Bohemian Grove, they worship Moloch. And Moloch is the one that has the outstretched hands that accepts the offering of children. Okay? Not in a loving way. They are killed. Their throats are slit open. You have to look under all the layers and ask yourself, what is the root reason why things are happening the way that they are? That's what you got to do. And then if you keep on asking, if you keep on looking, God showed me, I prayed, please God, I want to know why things are, I hate this wickedness. It vexes, it torments me that this wickedness goes on and on and on, and innocent lives are shattered, destroyed, killed. The worst thing a human being could do is hurt a child, kill a child. And this wickedness is a symptom of people aligning themselves with the satanic forces. And the number one thing, okay, if you haven't outright aligned yourself with Satan and made a pact with the devil, which is what they do, then he will do other things in order to convince you that what I was saying in the beginning is not the truth, that God wants a relationship with you, that you have enormous power and strength just by aligning yourself with God. You're not an indentured slave to God. You're not some kind of, Ned Flanders, Holy Road. It's nothing like that. You are empowered. You can change everything. You can change the world. I don't even know how to explain like all the it's aligning yourself with truth and justice and love. So I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want to do that. But that's just me, I guess. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm going to do stuff with Brent and Samhain, and we're going to explore stuff that happened to this guy that's been corresponding with me, and his name is Jack. And the more I talk to him, the more and more I see parallels with him in my own life. He's older and he's got more experience with these things, and he's got a lot to say. And I'm not saying that I'm as smart as him or anything like that, but what I'm saying is I can see how as you get older and as you search for these things more and more, and if you're an experiencer like I am, and if you've seen your family experience things, you begin to see patterns on how the enemy operates. And like I was mentioning Linda Moulton Hall before, and no, I don't think that. I think that she is a COINTELPRO PSYOP, whatever, because I think she has some truth, and that's how you sell a convincing lie, is that you have a lot of truth, and then there's a backdoor lie in there, and that's what poisons the whole well. But one thing that's always fascinated me about some of the things that she had to say that she was handed by intelligence officers was the stories of soul transfer. Now I am I'm abbreviating this story, but one story she told, and I'm not going to get all the facts right because I'm going off of memory and I heard it like a year ago, but one story was a man who was having abductions. He remembered his abductions. He was ill, I think, terminally ill, and the aliens took him aboard the craft and showed him a machine. They showed him himself, or a body that looked just like him, and they showed him a vat, or like a vessel containing some kind of like a pinkish light, I think, which reminds me of Philip K. Dick. But anyway, they sucked out the light and they put it into this body, and they explained to him that they cloned him, and that something about him, they wanted his genetics and body to continue, so they needed to transfer his soul. So he died, let's say he lived in Mississippi or something, so like his family found his body, whatever, they had a funeral, but he was reborn in Australia. Some of the same memories, same body. Alright, now even if that wasn't true, that's an interesting idea, because I've heard that before, and I'm hearing it more and more, stories like that. Now, it's always stuck with me. I've wanted to get to the bottom. I know that isn't it. I know that they're not aliens with technology to do that, because I know that they're fallen angels, okay? So, but I have always wanted to know what kind of fallen angel does that. So, bear with me. I'm going to do some research, and this is what this long-winded introduction is all about. I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to look into a specific kind of fallen angel called the Rapha and Raphaim. There's different choirs of angels, and there's different choirs of anti-angels, fallen angels, different statuses. Some get to see the face of God. I'm talking about angels, obviously. Some get to see the face of God, and those are the angels for children. They are in the presence of God. God gives them very special angels. Oh, I love that. It's just awesome. And some of the fallen angels, just like it's a mirror inversion, some have the counter, so the inverse of the ones that see the face of God would see the face of Satan. They have technology. They can manifest themselves physically, and they do screw around with things like that story, the man who got cloned. But I obviously some questions are, if you're a soul, how could these things who are imperfect creators, see, because if you remember in the book of Enoch, they cannot make anything from scratch. They are not the original programmer. They cannot write the original code like God, so they take what God has already made and they insert their own coding into it, because they cannot make anything from scratch. They cannot do anything that hasn't already been done by God. They just, manipulate it. And they've been around for a long time. They've had a lot of practice. Lots of practice on how to deceive and perfect their arts. But anyway, so I'm going to look into that, and then I'm going to make another video, and now that my computer is back and running again, I've got a backlog of stuff I've got to do, including stuff for J.C. Johnson, because I am still obviously a part of Crypto Four Corners International, and yes, I will not forget that that's where I come from too. So I have some research brewing there, but that question about the Rapha and Raphaim and soul transfer technology and cloning to be continued. Have a wonderful day, guys. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.